Sunlight spilled across the bustling streets of Abuja, Nigeria's political capital and a magnet for wealth and ambition. Amid this backdrop of sleek buildings and manicured lawns stood the Jasper residence, a carefully designed home that combined traditional African warmth with modern opulence. Within this home lived two sisters, Ivy, bold and flashy, and Norah, quiet but resilient. Their journeys were about to unfold in ways neither expected, weaving together themes of sibling rivalry, personal growth, and the secret triumph of humility over vanity. At 25, Ivy Jasper had already earned a reputation for extravagance. Her daily social media posts showcased an unending carousel of designer bags, spa treatments in top hotels, and private lounge parties with local celebrities. She owned a thriving boutique and spa empire, courtesy of her father's generous startup capital and her sharp flair for marketing. Every post garnered thousands of likes and effusive comments. Slay Queen, living that soft life, sis. Ivy basked in this adoration, believing it validated her worth. Her home life mirrored her online persona. After sunrise, she'd wake to a swirl of stylists and employees who manage her appointments. She roamed the mansion's polished floors in designer slippers, directing staff with a wave of her manicured hand. Maxwell Jasper, her father, quietly admired her hustle. He joked that Ivy had the Midas touch, turning every business idea into profit. More secretly, he saw her as a testament to his own success, a bold, visible sign that the Jaspers were a force in Abuja's elite circles. In a smaller bedroom at the far end of the mansion lived Norah Jasper. She was Ivy's older sister by 3 years, but in many ways, she felt overshadowed. While Ivy's vibrant personality filled every corner of their home, Norah was reserved and introspective, waking early to apply for jobs on her laptop. At 28, she was educated, she had a degree in mass communication and had worked an office job in the past, but had recently been laid off when her firm restructured. The disappointment still weighed on her. Every morning, Norah scrolled through job listings. She tailored her CV for countless positions: communications officer, social media manager, brand strategist. The rejections piled up. Despite each new "we regret to inform you" email, Norah pressed forward. She believed in her ability, but the labor market in Abuja could be cutthroat, favoring influential connections or flashy personalities. Where Norah offered sincerity, employers often sought big talkers. She did not blame them. This was the reality, but the sting of her jobless status never fully left her. Still, Norah forced a smile whenever she passed Ivy in the hallway. She suppressed her insecurities, not wanting pity or confrontation. Their father, Maxwell, merely patted Norah's shoulder sometimes, encouraging her to keep searching. Meanwhile, Teresa Jasper, their mother, hovered in the background with gentle, worried eyes. She seldom pressed Norah on her struggles, preferring to let each child figure out their path. One balmy Sunday, the family gathered for their traditional brunch, a weekly affair replete with jollof rice, pepper soup, fresh fruit platters, and pastries. Dressed in her usual flamboyance, Ivy wore a sleek gold dress, offset by a designer watch that sparkled under the chandelier lights. Maxwell gave her a warm nod of approval as she breezed into the dining area. Norah arrived a bit later in a simple blouse and black skirt, her hair neatly braided. She greeted everyone quietly, taking a seat at the corner of the long table. Auntie Gladys, the mother's sister, plump, chatty, and brimming with gossip, immediately launched into updates about various relatives. They ate amid lively chatter. Or rather, everyone listened while Ivy recounted her latest business expansions and brand deals. She boasted about hitting record sales in her boutique, announcing new spa openings soon. Maxwell beamed, raising his glass to toast his unstoppable daughter. Ivy casually, "Dad, you won't believe it. That new influencer campaign? It took off. I might add another location in Lekki soon." Maxwell, smiling proudly, "That's what I like to hear, my dear. Keep going, sky's the limit." Norah offered a small clap, sincere though overshadowed by Ivy's star power. Out of nowhere, Ivy turned her focus on Norah, who quietly sipped pineapple juice. A spark of mischief danced in Ivy's eyes. Ivy, loudly, with a teasing smirk. "Our dear Norah, how's the job hunt? Any luck yet? Or are we still hoping for a miracle?" Laughter rippled around the table. Maxwell chuckled softly, and even Teresa wore a strained half-smile. Auntie Gladys shook her head in mock sympathy. "Ivy, we can't all be meant for the soft life, can we? Some of us are the family's spiritual lesson, I guess." The words stung. Nora's cheeks warmed. She forced a grin, refusing to let tears surface. She excused herself under the pretense of getting more juice, but in truth, she escaped to her car in the driveway. Once alone, she let silent tears fall. She wasn't upset solely by Ivy's cruelty, but by the mild amusement of their parents. She realized she was truly on her own. Yet in the hush of that car, something shifted within Norah. This heartbreak morphed into determination, a silent vow to rise above her sister's mocking. She dabbed her tears with a tissue, took a steadying breath, and rejoined the brunch, mask back in place. The seeds of tension are planted. Ivy's lavish success basks in the family's approval, while Nora's struggles are trivialized. A quiet, decisive spark now lit in Nora's soul. 2 weeks after that humiliating brunch, Norah was standing in line at a cafe, checking her phone for more job applications. She had spent the morning at an interview that ended with the dreaded phrase, "We'll get back to you." She felt drained, but refused to give up. Then she saw Zara Brooks, her childhood friend from secondary school, sitting by the window, typing on a sleek laptop. They hadn't spoken in ages, as Zara had moved to the U.S. after her bachelor's degree. Norah hesitated, then approached with a smile. Zara, looking up, pleasantly surprised. "Norah, Jasper? Is that you?" They embraced, exclaiming how it had been years since they last saw each other. Zara invited Norah to sit, so they caught up over cappuccinos. Zara explained that she was now back in Nigeria to oversee some projects, but mostly she worked remotely as a consultant in data analysis and digital marketing. Zara, enthusiastic. "It's crazy how many well-paying gigs exist online, especially on freelance platforms. You can earn in dollars, sometimes more than local salaries. You'd be perfect for that kind of work, Norah. You're so smart and have a communications background." Nora's interest peaked. She had heard about freelancing, but never knew how to break into it. Zara described how to set up profiles on reputable sites, pitch to international clients, negotiate rates, and deliver projects. She even typed out a list of websites and told Norah to start small, gradually build a portfolio. "Zara, once you land a few good clients, watch your email. The money can be surprising. Some pay $50 to $100 an hour, or they pay a big sum for a project. Just keep leveling up your skills." Nora's eyes lit up. This path seemed so different from chasing local job ads, where nepotism and fancy degrees overshadowed genuine skill. Zara assured her that in freelancing, one's portfolio and communication matter far more than references or being flashy. Encouraged, Norah resolved to try. That evening, Norah locked herself in her small bedroom and created accounts on multiple freelance platforms: Upwork, Fiverr, People Per Hour, and a few specialized writing/consulting sites. She posted her modest resume, writing samples, and newly minted services. She proposed rates that matched her inexperience, but that still felt respectable. Then she waited. Crickets. Days passed without replies, except for a couple of suspicious job offers that seemed like scams. Discouraged, she nearly gave up, but Zara's pep talks over WhatsApp kept her going. "Zara, text. No worries, girl. Keep sending proposals. Everyone starts slow. Also, consider taking a few online courses to boost your profile." Following that advice, Norah enrolled in short certifications: social media strategy, digital copywriting, brand consulting. She consumed every tutorial she could find, practicing on her own blog. Her efforts gradually improved her proposals. Then, after 3 weeks, she landed her first official gig, writing blog posts about African tourism for a US-based travel website. Payment was modest, but the client liked her work and left a glowing review. Soon, more invitations trickled in. She refined her pitch, raising her rates bit by bit. The turning point came 6 months after Norah's first gig. A European marketing firm wanted help drafting a new brand strategy for African markets. They needed a local perspective plus top-tier writing skills. Norah spent a sleepless weekend researching consumer trends, analyzing data, and crafting a detailed brand plan. The client was thrilled, paying her a hefty sum in euros. From there, the floodgates opened. Her online reputation soared. Clients recommended her to colleagues. She found herself juggling multiple projects, writing marketing proposals, digital strategies, content funnels for corporate websites, and more. Her monthly earnings in foreign currency dwarfed typical local salaries. She could pay bills with ease, upgrading her worn-out laptop to a powerful new model, traveling to quiet co-working spaces, or even 5-star hotel lounges where free coffee and stable Wi-Fi enhanced her workflow. Ivy remained clueless about Norah's activities. On social media, Ivy flaunted nights at rooftop bars, boasting about new deals with local influencers. Meanwhile, Norah quietly stacked her bank accounts, opening a domiciliary account to handle her dollar payments. She also consulted Zara about investments, venturing into low-risk real estate deals and eventually dabbling in cryptocurrency. Everything was hush-hush. She had no desire to brag or prove anything. Yet, within the Jasper household, changes in Norah were subtle at first. She wore modest but well-fitted outfits instead of old, worn clothes. She returned from short trips to Lagos or even brief stints in Dubai, ostensibly for personal reasons. She rarely explained, and nobody pressed her. Maxwell and Teresa sometimes wondered where Norah got the funds for these travels, but they shrugged it off, assuming perhaps she borrowed from friends or found short-term job. Ivy raised an eyebrow at her sister's new calm confidence. She saw glimpses, like Norah's new smartphone or the large padded envelopes that arrived with international shipping labels. But Ivy was too engrossed in her social media empire to dwell on it, labeling Norah's small improvements as luck or maybe some cheap sugar daddy arrangement. She smirked whenever Norah quietly left the house with a suitcase, suspecting she was chasing men. Little did she know the real story behind Norah's blossoming success. Norah's hidden path took shape, fueled by intense freelance work and strategic investments. While Ivy's flamboyance roared on, Norah's behind-the-scenes hustle quietly outgrew even her wildest expectations. 1 year into her freelancing journey, Norah discovered an even bigger opportunity, helping startups craft investor pitches, refine their brand identity, and expand into African markets. She charged premium fees to these well-funded ventures, especially those from the US, Europe, and the Middle East. She delivered crisp, data-driven proposals that often sealed multi-million-dollar deals for her clients. The referral chain went global. By now, Norah had quietly built a small remote team, developers, designers, and writers, mostly hired from within Africa. She supervised them while forging new partnerships. Her monthly income soared to levels Ivy wouldn't dream possible. She purchased 3 apartments in Abuja, paying in cash, renting them out for extra passive income. She also set up a robust cryptocurrency portfolio after thorough research, finding a stable return that multiplied her net worth. Whenever Norah traveled to Paris, it was often for a tech or freelance conference. She learned new trends in digital strategy, networked with potential clients, and expanded her horizons. When in Dubai, she closed deals with wealthy entrepreneurs seeking a brand foothold in West Africa. Yet she wore her success lightly. She seldom posted on social media, preferring to keep her personal life private. Her outward transformation, however, became increasingly apparent. She carried herself with an effortless grace, wore clothes that hinted at quiet luxury, and spoke with calm authority when discussing topics she knew well. Life soared for Ivy as well, or so she wanted everyone to believe. She opened a new spa location in Abuja, partnering with a popular influencer named Jordan Wells, who also became her on and off romantic companion. Jordan adored the limelight, and the two often shared couple photos, brand endorsements, and party glimpses on Instagram. Yet behind that glitz, Ivy's finances weren't as bulletproof as they seemed. Overexpansion in a difficult economy strained her liquidity. She borrowed money from Maxwell to stay afloat, and while her business thrived on surface-level hype, profit margins were narrower than she admitted. Observing Norah's subtle glow-up unsettled Ivy. She saw her sister's refined wardrobe, her improved grooming, the small touches of high-quality perfume and discreet jewelry. Ivy tried prying information out of Teresa or Maxwell, but they didn't know any details. Ivy, to her mother, "Have you noticed Nora's new style? And she comes and goes like she has top-level events. Where's she getting the money? She can't be making that from a 9 to 5. She doesn't even have one." Teresa shrugged, reminding Ivy that maybe Norah found something sustainable at last. This gave Ivy little comfort. She suspected some wealthy suitor must be bankrolling Norah. She even confided in Jordan. "Ivy, I wouldn't be shocked if she's got some sugar daddy from Dubai. That's the only explanation for those trips." Jordan smirked, encouraging Ivy to keep shining as the real star of the family. No matter her suspicions, Ivy refused to believe Norah could surpass her through honest work. A few months later, the Jaspers decided to hold a family dinner at Skyline Haven, an exclusive rooftop restaurant that offered panoramic views of Abuja city lights. Maxwell intended to celebrate the partial completion of a real estate project he'd invested in. He invited Teresa, Ivy, and Norah to join him for a lavish evening. Ivy sauntered in wearing a figure-hugging red dress, statement necklace, and stiletto heels. She greeted the maitre d' with familiarity, having held influencer events at Skyline Haven before. Maxwell and Teresa arrived soon after, excited to dine as a family again. Then came Norah, stepping out of the elevator in a simple yet stunning black dress, her hair in a neat chignon. The discreet label at her sleeve, if anyone recognized it, belonged to a French designer known for understated but pricey couture. Ivy did a double take. This was no random thrift store piece. Norah's posture and aura radiated quiet confidence. Even Maxwell paused to note how composed Norah appeared. Teresa gave Norah a warm hug, complimenting her new look. They sat around a circular table, admiring the city below. The golden interior lights of Skyline Haven formed a lavish backdrop for what would become a pivotal family moment. Norah's transformation was nearly complete. She soared financially while still maintaining her humility, prompting suspicion and tension from Ivy. An upcoming dinner would spark the final confrontation between these sisters. The Jaspers perused their menus, ordering exotic dishes like grilled lobster, prawns and cream sauce, and pomegranate salads. Sparkling juice and fine wine flowed freely. For a time, conversation remained polite. Maxwell praised Ivy for expanding her spa brand. Ivy boasted about her upcoming social media campaign with Jordan Wells. Norah chimed in quietly, congratulating Ivy's success, but offered no details about her own life. Maxwell asked a general question about Norah's job search, assuming she might have found something small. She just smiled, saying, "I'm managing. Life has been kind." Sensing an opportunity to reassert her dominance, Ivy leaned forward, wearing a mischievous grin. She tossed her hair dramatically. "Ivy," raising her voice, "Norah, you look nice tonight, but let's be real. Some folks dress rich, but we know their bank account is screaming for help." A wave of awkwardness fell over the table. Maxwell gave Ivy a disapproving glance, but said nothing. Teresa tried to intervene. "Ivy, dear, not at dinner." But Ivy continued. Ivy, smirking, "I just want to ensure my sister isn't living above her means. If you need a small loan, I might be able to help, darling." Everyone braced for Norah's reaction. Norah set down her wine glass gently, her face serene. She had endured years of such jabs. But now, she had the power to respond differently. Norah, voice calm, "I appreciate the concern, Ivy. Truly. But no, thank you." "Ivy, you sure? Because my watch alone can buy your life." She flashed a diamond-encrusted wristwatch, brand unknown to some, but obviously expensive. A hush settled. Maxwell cleared his throat, sensing a meltdown. But Norah, with the faintest smile, turned the tables on her sister. Norah, is that your biggest flex? A wristwatch? Because I promise you, we can go band for band if you'd like. Ivy's eyes narrowed, uncertain. The phrase band for band was slang referencing large sums of money in wads or bank accounts. She barked out a laugh. Ivy, oh please. My spa's annual revenue last year was 450 million Nigerian nairas, over $500,000. How about the screenshot right here? She whipped out her phone, showing a screenshot of her business account statement. Auntie Gladys, present as usual for drama, whistled in awe. Maxwell and Teresa nodded, impressed. Even Norah took a moment, acknowledging there was no small sum. Norah, softly, that's impressive. Congratulations. Ivy, leaning back in triumph. Thank you. Now you see the difference between us. I'm the real boss. You can keep wearing fancy clothes to pretend. Norah quietly took out her phone and tapped a few times. She turned the screen around for the table to see. The single figure at the bottom was $950,000, referencing a wire transfer from a major European conglomerate. The date was from the previous month. Everyone froze, eyes darting from the phone to Norah's calm expression. Norah, want my monthly invoices. That's just from one client. I get others as well. Stunned silence. Auntie Gladys literally dropped her wine glass onto the tablecloth, but it didn't break. She just stared, mouth agape. Maxwell blinked in confusion, verifying the foreign bank statement. Teresa put a hand to her chest, uncertain whether to speak. Ivy's face contorted in disbelief. Ivy, voice trembling. That can't be real. This must be some silly screenshot or a borrowed account. Norah, it's real, sis. The days of me being the butt of jokes ended months ago. I didn't say anything because it's not my style to brag. But you kept pushing. Ivy's cheeks burned. She tried to muster an argument about how such an amount was impossible, that Norah must have a sponsor or a shady hustle. Norah inhaled deeply, her expression compassionate yet unyielding. Norah, I earn my money through freelancing and consulting. In the last year, I've built a network of international clients who pay me well for my expertise. I've also invested in real estate and cryptocurrency. So, I appreciate your watch, Ivy, but I can buy the entire brand that produces it if I want it. Thunderstruck hush followed. Maxwell leaned back in his chair, a swirl of pride and confusion in his eyes. Teresa dabbed tears, relieved Norah had found success, and perhaps guilt-ridden for not noticing. Auntie Gladys stared at Norah like she'd seen a ghost. Norah, turning to Maxwell and Teresa, gently. I'll only show you this so we can put the teasing to rest. I respect Ivy's hustle and success. I just want you all to know I'm doing fine. More than fine. The dinner fizzled into stunned murmurs. Ivy fell uncharacteristically silent, eyeing her phone with shaky hands. She occasionally shot Norah a glare, as if processing a betrayal. Maxwell broke the tension, offering a wobbly smile. Maxwell, well, that's quite something, Norah. We never imagined. Congratulations, my dear. Teresa, voice quivering. Oh, Norah, I'm proud of you. We had no idea. You kept it all inside. Norah responded with a humble nod, expressing gratitude for the support, albeit belated. The rest of the meal was subdued. Auntie Gladys tried to lighten the mood with jokes about the millionaire sisters, but no one laughed wholeheartedly. Ivy finished her meal with minimal chatter, thoroughly shaken. End of Act 4, Norah's quiet might had been revealed, flipping the family dynamic. Ivy's superficial swagger faced an unthinkable challenge. Tension lingered as they left the restaurant, uncertain how relationships would evolve post-revelation. In the days following that dinner, Ivy disappeared from social media. Her typical daily posts halted. Friends texted, curious if she was ill or traveling. She was too embarrassed to resurface, unsure how to maintain her flamboyant image after discovering that Norah, a sister she had long mocked, quietly out-earned her. The shame cut deep. She spent nights rethinking her life, realizing that while she boasted of watches and brand deals, Norah built a global consulting empire behind closed doors. Her relationship with Jordan Wells grew strained. He was a vain influencer who thrived on public attention, but Ivy no longer felt confident enough to play the power couple. They argued frequently, culminating in an on-and-off breakup as she tried to figure out her next steps. She also struggled with business finances, having taken out loans for expansions she had hoped would yield immediate returns. Now her boutiques and spas risked running short on cash flow. She considered approaching Norah for advice or investment, but found the thought humiliating. Meanwhile, Norah launched the next phase of her journey, forging a mentorship program for African women aspiring to enter tech, freelancing, or digital consulting. She named it Rise and Thrive Africa, a free online academy that featured modules on social media management, digital marketing, web content writing, and more. Within weeks, the platform attracted thousands of women from across Nigeria and beyond, each seeking to replicate Norah's success in the freelance economy. At Maxwell's gentle urging, Norah agreed to attend a few high-profile events in Abuja as an inspirational speaker. She found herself on panels discussing the future of remote work, the digital economy, and bridging Nigeria's skills gap. Journalists hailed her as the quiet billionaire, a moniker referencing her humble persona despite her lucrative achievements. Panel host at a major conference. Norah Jasper, can you share how you built such an impressive portfolio in under 2 years? Norah, smiling modestly. It begins with self-belief, resilience, and constant learning. I faced rejection after rejection, but each taught me how to improve. Technology opens global doors. Hard work and strategic thinking will get you there. No need for loud noise or shortcuts. Her calm, wise words resonated. Clips from her speeches went viral, though she never sought the limelight. She maintained that her real fulfillment came from seeing others break free from traditional job constraints and claim financial independence. Word eventually reached Ivy that Norah was hosting a charity event for the Rise and Thrive Africa mentorship. Moved by curiosity and a pang of remorse, Ivy decided to attend incognito. She slipped in the back row, wearing dark sunglasses. She watched in awe as Norah took the stage, addressing a crowd of young women. The theme was empowering the next generation, and Norah's sincerity and gentle authority shone brightly. During a break, Ivy approached her sister in a hallway near the restrooms. She removed her sunglasses, revealing eyes brimming with tears and regret. Ivy, voice trembling. Norah, I'm sorry. I've been horrible. I didn't know how you were succeeding, and I was so quick to judge. I never believed you could surpass me, and it stings. But that's my ego talking. I don't want us to be enemies. We're sisters. Norah, though surprised, remained compassionate. She saw the pain etched in Ivy's face. After all the harsh words, she still loved her sister. She reached out, gently touching Ivy's arm. Norah, softly, I've never wanted to compete with you, Ivy. I just needed to find my own path. I don't blame you for your doubts. I only hope we can support each other moving forward. They shared a tentative embrace, the start of mending their fractured bond. Ivy confessed her business woes, acknowledging she needed better financial planning. Norah promised to help if Ivy truly wanted guidance, but politely refused to bail her out financially. She believed that Ivy's humility was essential for lasting transformation. Returning home to the Jasper mansion, the sisters found Maxwell, Teresa, and even Auntie Gladys waiting in the living room. The family had convened to celebrate a crucial milestone. Maxwell's real estate project was completed, and the entire city spoke of Norah's philanthropic work. They also wanted to address lingering tensions, hoping for a more peaceful household. Auntie Gladys, never one to mince words, exclaimed, Auntie Gladys, so, have you two made up? Because I can't handle more drama. My heart can't take it. That triggered soft laughter from Ivy and Norah, who nodded, explaining they were on the path to reconciliation. Maxwell, paternal pride shining in his eyes, thanked them for bridging the rift. Teresa offered a teary-eyed prayer of gratitude. The atmosphere felt lighter, the shadow of resentment lifting. Ivy, smiling at Norah. I still love my bling, but maybe I can tone down the bragging, focus on real growth. Norah, teasing gently. And maybe I'll enjoy a touch of sparkle now and then. We can swap notes on quiet success versus flamboyant success. A balanced approach. They chuckled, forging new ground. This time, the laughter was genuine and free from malice. Months later, Norah took a bold step, purchasing a skyscraper in Lagos. She intended it as a co-working hub for freelancers, small businesses, and tech entrepreneurs. The building would house training rooms for her mentorship programs, networking lounges, and event spaces. Official documents arrived for naming rights. She decided to call it the Jasper Tower in homage to her family, though with a twist. Only her name was listed as the primary owner and founder. On the day of the grand unveiling, she invited close friends, clients, and family. Maxwell arrived in a crisp suit, eyes brimming with pride at seeing the Jasper Tower sign looming tall against the Lagos skyline. Teresa was equally moved, taking photos of everything from the building's facade to the interior decor. Ivy stood near the entrance, genuinely excited. She no longer felt threatened, having come to terms with her sister's achievements. She had begun refining her spa business model, focusing on client retention rather than social media vanity. Ivy, whispering to Norah, smiling. "This is insane. I remember a time I laughed at you for wearing cheap shoes. Now you own a skyscraper. Norah, I'm proud of you, sis." Norah, smiling back. "Thank you, Ivy. I've always been proud of you too, even if I couldn't show it. Let's keep growing together." The ribbon-cutting ceremony commenced, and cameras flashed. Zara Brooks, who had flown in for the event, gave a heartfelt speech about the power of remote work and how Norah's story exemplified what any determined African youth could achieve in the global digital economy. Auntie Gladys, enthralled by the glitz, couldn't help but gossip about the celebrities in attendance, but in an admiring tone. The mood was celebratory, not cynical. As evening fell, the last beams of sunlight painted the Jasper Tower in a golden hue. From the rooftop, Norah gazed at the city lights, reflecting on her journey, from being scorned as the broke spiritual lesson to quietly surpassing everyone's expectations. She had no regrets about her humble approach. Indeed, she believed that one's success speaks loudest when allowed to stand on its own merits. Standing beside her, Ivy sipped a mocktail, leaning against the sleek glass railing. The tension that once defined their relationship had softened into mutual respect. Yes, they were different in style. Ivy would always love the spotlight, while Norah found comfort in letting her achievements do the talking. But now both recognized that each sister had her own valid path. Norah, quietly, glancing at Ivy. "We overcame a lot, didn't we?" Ivy, smiling, eyes on the glowing city. "We did. I guess you're not just a quiet billionaire. You're the unstoppable one." They exchanged a warm laugh, a moment of unspoken understanding passing between them. The era of Norah had dawned indeed, but more than that, it was an era of deeper family unity and genuine self-worth for all. Their father, Maxwell, and mother, Teresa, joined them for a final group photo, capturing not just a milestone, but a testament to how resilience and humility can conquer the fiercest rivalries. Thus concluded the story of Norah Jasper, the unassuming sister who rose from scorn to global acclaim. Fueled by her quiet determination, unwavering faith in her own abilities, and a commitment to letting success speak louder than any boastful words ever could.